Good morning. It's Friday, April 19th. And let me tell you something that we all know exists. There's always been a pay difference between men and women who are doing equal jobs. Women have always been paid less. And over the past 15 or 20 years, this country has struggled to equalize the pay scale. Now, when I was working, I had many women employed with me, and we paid them the same as the men who did the same job. But that is not always the case all around the country. And I bring this up today especially because I'm looking at this story of Caitlin Clark, probably one of the greatest female basketball players to come out of college. She set all the scoring records that had existed over many times. It's a young woman of 22 embarking on her professional basketball career and making about 1/20th or 1/30th of what a male starting basketball player could make. And many of the reasons for that are that the Women's League is a very young league. They don't have the lifetime experience of the Men's Basketball League. They don't have as many teams playing in the WNBA. They don't have as many TV contracts and things like that to build up necessary revenue to pay their players more. So they need to expand. And they're planning to do many of those things. But also, as I look at these situations, they have some stupid rules in the basketball situation. Now, now I can grant you the fact that they don't have as many avenues of income right now as the Men's League does. Nor do they have as many players, and they don't have as many teams. So a lot of that goes into the salary differential between what a man makes and what a woman makes. But it's an astronomical difference because Caitlin is going to be paid by the league about $350,000, or by the team, the Indiana team that she went on. And then she's got some other things going, so she may make $500,000. While the men who have jumped into that spot are making 20 times what she makes. When you look at those salaries, they're way out of whack. So the Women's League has a lot of work to do to catch up with the men. They have to expand into more teams. They have to get better TV contracts and stuff like that. But they're working on it. But this situation has put the spotlight on the female salary schedule. It's pathetic compared to what the men are making. But then you have to look at the background. This is the first year in the last 15 years or so that the female basketball sport has drawn a large TV audience. And while Caitlin Clark was not playing as a professional, the mere fact that she was on the court in the college championship series had a lot to do with it. And much of that is because of the playing of Caitlin Clark. Of course, she was simply outstanding, and many people watched just her alone. So based upon that, she's probably entitled to a hell of a lot more money, but the league can't afford it. The league is strapped. It has to expand. It has to revisit its television right and things like that to bring in more money. And the players' union is probably going to negate the current contract and renew those contract rules, because they have some rules within the contract that limit the amount of money that one of the players can make outside of the basic salary. Whereas the men's league doesn't have that stipulation in their contracts. So the women's league has a lot of work to do in order to get to the same level of pay that the men do. But female basketball has become very popular lately, and that's a step in the right direction. There's no reason that they should be paid so much less than the men, except for the fact that they just don't draw the crowd. They don't have the audience. They are not bringing in the revenue. The men's league makes over $2 billion or $3 billion a year in TV rights and other outside institutions, so to speak. But the women's league only makes about $200 million. So how can they afford to pay the salaries that the men are getting? They can't. So Caitlin Clark may be the spark. That's great. Clark and the spark to bringing women's basketball up a notch or 2 notches or 10 notches to get somewhere near some kind of equality with the men's game in terms of paying the players. I can tell you that I've watched a few women's basketball games, and I like the way they play. I like the way they play in some instances more than I like the way the men play. The men streak up and down the court and shoot. There's very little, in my mind, play where a guy's breaking to the basket and he gets the ball, or he circles around the out until he gets something to go. I think that the women demonstrate more of a team sport than the men, who are all great individual players and have superstars, much like Caitlin will be in her professional career. So I'm in favor of the women going out and trying to get more money for themselves and to produce more entertainment in the sports world for the viewing public. And maybe Caitlin Clark will be an inspiration to watch the game, the women's game, more often. And for that, she's certainly entitled to a bigger slice of the pie. And hopefully, all of the other women in the league will get a bigger slice of the pie. So this will be an interesting couple of years in the women's basketball situation. I'm hoping they make a lot of money, because there's no reason for not watching them play. They are as exciting as any men's basketball. Have a great day. I'll see you in the morning. Bye.